Adoration of the Abyssal Trespasser is the latest EP from Trollcave, a Spanish death doom metal band, and one that they often describe as funeral death doom metal. And I think that makes sense if you're thinking of something like Disembowelment, or this band comes from the same fellow who is behind Sanctuarium, as well as a black metal band called Calderum, and he typically has an authenticity behind his work in terms of focusing in on something that is particularly atmospheric, particularly old school, and in terms of death metal, he lets the raw edges show. This is very much a band that has formed out of a solo project, as far as I understand. If you gauge this work versus their debut EP or their debut Rotted Remnants Dripping into the Void, kind of is a way of stepping back into the a deeper underground sound. It is a much simpler production value. It's a little bit more lo-fi in general. It's quieter. You're going to have to crank it up a little bit. The atmosphere is certainly the subject of this record, and the riffs follow in terms of generating that atmosphere and also pushing the EP along. I'll get more into this once we've heard a clip, and then there isn't that much to talk about. It's a fairly solid 30 minutes, 12-inch mini LP with just 2 songs. So we get about 2 15-minute sides on this 12-inch, and essentially we get an exploration of meandering riff on each. There are some synthesizer-based soundscapes developed in between. There are some funeral death doom moments that slow down a little bit, but this is mostly kind of what I would consider demo-level atmospheric underground death metal. If you're a fan of Disma or Evoken or Disembowelment, all of that will feel very natural as you step in, and it will take a while for them to kind of rocket up to that point to where you start feeling the speed and the momentum of their riffs. So they've done a great job of pulling that sound together without quite elevating it in the same way that maybe a more recent Worm record might, in terms of taking death doom and doing something different with it. This is just authentic vortex of sound type of death doom, and that's entirely to my taste. That is the reason why I'm talking about it. I think this is a solid overall record. I would consider it an album per my own experience. It is a half an hour, and it is a solid on both sides, but treat it like a mini LP, if you will. I think everything from this fellow has been strong. I think the Sanctuarium record was just as solid, and I think this is maybe a little bit more darker, a little bit more deeper underground in its sound, and you'll know what I mean if you're a fan of this. It really is the dark throwback feeling of this record that carries it. So if you're looking for riff after riff and something a bit surprising, I don't think you're going to get that here. But if, like me, you're just looking for this dark and very specific sound, this is a great place to get it. So that released on November 15th. Check it out for yourself, and go ahead and read my review for more of my thoughts.